Zhao's just up in the V1 waiting, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, obviously we changed the time to be able to suit you, Blitz, but it's all gonna depend on like how late you're able to stay.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm good for the next. What time is it? It's about to be 3 my time. I'm good for the next 5 hours, roughly.
Okay.
It's about to be 9 p.m. So we'll see.
Drowning, you're 5 minutes early. How dare you? Drowning.
Yeah.
Why'd you call this 5 minutes early?
Yeah.
What?
Because
You
I
want
could.
people to
I
arrive
don't
on
know.
time?
All right, my plan for this new game is to eliminate the middle class. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right, be quiet, High Lord. Trying to act like book and block because you're.
I'm eliminating the middle class. It's happening.
Really? Haha, okay.
Ha ha ha. That's so funny. You're so funny. You're
I
so
know.
funny.
I know.
Stop stealing jokes from fucking high class streamers.
Bro.
Who changed the bounty hunter color to shit brown?
Me.
Probably one of.
Why? It was green was good. Why'd you change it to brown?
Because
That's
there's
your
no good mod
color.
colors.
No, ew. You take shit brown. Don't give my boys brown. What's wrong with you?
All right, all
Dude,
right. I
your
have.
logo is literally brown.
Incorrect.
Don't
Oh,
get
it
my,
is.
don't
I hate
get
you.
my boys brown. I'm quoting that.
Bro, I hate you. I hate you so much, Drowning.
That wasn't me, but I have a solution.
I don't care. I'm blaming you.
Okay. Bounty hunters can be bright pink.
Can we get mint green? What about mint green? You guys are dark green.
That's
No,
unavailable
you can
restricted
get dark green and we
John
can get
Leo.
mint green. How about that?
What?
You
I
can
wanna
get the
be
dark
hot
one.
pink.
We can get the mint.
No, I want to be hot pink.
Yeah, why
I thought
don't
it was
mods
fine.
get
Wow,
hot?
pink.
Let mods get hot pink.
Pink.
And then
No. Mods
Oh
get the
my
mint
God.
green. Bounty hunter
No,
gets dark
mods get
green.
hot pink.
Okay.
Nice. Don't
Yo.
judge pink.
Who's throwing people out of the? This is interesting.
Whoever is above mod has to go change the color to mint green.
All right.
Wow.
No, I'm not giving you mint green.
No,
No,
bounty
hot
hunters got regular green.
No.
Yeah, they have the same
color.
I'm
I'ma
okay.
just-
No.
Oh,
You're not
there you
getting.
go, there you go. That pink. That's a nice pink.
You're
Stop.
getting. You're getting this. I feel like that's a good color.
No, hot pink.
No, hot pink is way too. It's an assault on the eyes.
You're gay, so do it.
Fine. You want hot pink? You're getting hot pink.
Thank you.
Where's the
Oh.
guy that's supposed to be running this thing?
Me?
I'm here.
Alright.
He's not running it.
Oh, is
I
he
am.
not coming to this?
Who just said? Who just said that? No,
he
I'm
needs to
running
get their
it.
system
Green, get out of here! I'm
on.
running
It
it.
doesn't even come to the thing. Okay.
What
You-
is here?
you-
What
you
is
see-
here?
You
Oh,
wanna
he's
see
here.
the DMs that I
Yeah,
have
he's
to
just
say
muted.
hi. You can run it.
You want me? You want me to run it?
Honestly, I will let you run it. I don't care.
Green, do you think the colors are all right for the mods and everything?
Yes,
Okay.
I think that pink is great. I think this.
Yeah, pink is good.
it's
Alright.
amazing.
All right, you guys are getting pink. This is perfect.
But
I don't-
I-
Green, I'm gonna let you do this because I'm gonna be honest. I did not prepare at all for this. Though I do have some questions for
You
them.
think I did? You think I prepared?
Let's
Who
be
said
honest. Madrid is rushing this whole
Green
thing.
said that.
Dude,
I have to scroll down to check because I haven't talked to Green in so long. I forgot what his voice sounds like.
dude, I'm like scrolling up and down this VC. There's so many people in here.
I'm not
Yes.
scrolling up. Do you know why? Because I collapsed my chat like a smart guy.
Wait,
Ah.
okay. The low ranks are server muted, right? Because I don't want
Yeah.
somebody unmuting themselves.
Everyone
and
is
then-
server muted, but the candidates and mods.
Okay, I don't want somebody unmuting themselves and ear raping.
Did you
That
do
would
that?
be
Did
wonderful.
did you server mute everybody?
No,
Well,
it wasn't
I
me.
set the channel up like that. 'Cause I'm
Oh,
smart.
okay. Wait, you
I
can
set
do
the
that?
channel up. I literally set up a role. So
Well, I fixed the channel.
I guess. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was doing it on mobile.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
mobile
that
Discord.
looks weird.
Yo, light mode gang, rise up.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Do you want to be disconnected?
Oh yeah, okay. Like,
Do you want to be server muted?
I do.
yes. Yeah, Daddy. All right, no, don't
You wanna be
please.
demoted?
Actually, don't. All right, I'm glad there's so much activity. I appreciate that everyone's
actually
taking
was
an
not-
active role in this community. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this many people to come out for the debates, considering that the politics channel has been an ongoing debate for the past 3 days.
High Lord. High
Yes,
Lord.
sir.
You gotta remember, 2 legends are returning from the dust.
Wow, epic.
Oh yeah, PewDiePie Blitz. Yeah,
Yeah, PewDiePie Blitz. And
Yeah.
Askovitz second in command.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Askovitz, I really like that propaganda that you posted a while back. The one with the like PewDiePie needs you. That's really cool. Very interesting take on the 1940s rendition of the Uncle Sam.
You know, haven't been within too many pregnant chicks right now. Like, you know, it's usually my thing, but not in a while.
Extreme, shut the fuck up!
Floating in here.
It's probably gonna taste like a mixture of,
Oh yeah, they can't hear me.
expired milk and cum. Okay, so can I just put it like on the back of my hand and take a little lick?
So, which one of our lovely mods is going to get started?
Give me 1 minute.
Well, I mean, alright, you're hosting this, Monday.
Hey, I can do it, but I gotta go right for like.
Give me like wait, Green. If you can send me the thing, I'll start it up. Like if you have
just
any.
scroll up in the mod chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait, is it a document or is it just
It's
a
not a document. It's just the
questions?
yeah, just the questions. They're numbered.
Gotcha. Hold on.
All right, I'm going AFK.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first debate. I'm pretty sure it's the only one of the who's yelling? Who is it?
They never know anything else. It doesn't taste like milk. I would think it would at least have some sort of healthy taste to it. But this is spicy. So they probably was this an Indian woman's breast? Did you find my mom?
All right.
Like scrape my tongue with something. Right?
Can
Welcome
people
to
hear
the-
me?
Yeah, well, you're good. All right,
Perfect.
welcome to the debates, everyone. I'm glad that there's such a turnout and such an interest in the politics aspect of this game. We're going to try to keep this as brief and concise as possible. Candidates, please give answers that are to the point. Don't try to run around the answers. Give a straightforward answer. Do not interrupt the other person while they're speaking. Keep it respectful. Keep it civil, and we should all be fine. First question will go to I'm just gonna PewDiePie Blitz. You'll get the first question, and then I will go to well, who's the head of? First, I need to ask who's the head of each campaign. I know Black is the head of.
I'm the head.
Okay, and then PewDiePie is the head of the second campaign.
The Jedi Order is sponsoring Black.
Okay.
Thank you, Jedi Order.
Thank you, Jedi Order.
Chair isn't here right now. He's in school, but I'll try to represent him as well as possible.
That's fine. So what we're going to do then is, because what I was going to try to do, and I wasn't sure how Green exactly wanted to do it, I was going to try to mandate the questions between the Vice Chancellor and the Chancellor, but since you don't have a Vice Chancellor here, we're going to mandate the questions to just the Chancellor candidates. Well, your ideas should be relatively the same, so it shouldn't be much of an issue.
Like I can still speak to the Vice Chair.
Either way, I mean, your ideas should be the same, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. If it is, then we can change it. But like I said, welcome everyone. Glad you could show up. First question will go to the first candidate. Let me introduce him. His name is PewDiePie Blitz. You can go into the electoral campaign section of the chat. Under there, you have PewDiePie Blitz and Black. Both have comprehensive speeches and electoral campaigns, propaganda, all that cool stuff. Be sure to check it out. First, we're going to start with PewDiePie Blitz. Question one, how should you handle toxicity in the Senate? It's going to be an inevitable problem. We need some sort of plan, or what do you think should be done? So go ahead and answer.
off, I want to say that this community has evolved a lot, and so far, from my experience, as I've gathered being here, I've found it pretty toxic sometimes. But what we'll try to do if we get elected is try to make it as equal as possible between both new and old community members, because that's where we think the problem arises oftenly. Uh, and we will strive towards pleasing not only the new community but also the old, as I said. And just because we might not have the sufficient experience from past communities doesn't mean we can't get to know better our current community and its members to the extent of them helping them improve and shape the current community to be a better one at that of the old one, or make it new and better one entirely. So we'll try to improve it by, for example, including low ranks and medium ranks, to know that they are supported and that we'll try to forward their voices as much as possible, because that's where we think the problem arises. And yeah, that's what we think.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to now direct the question at Black, the second candidate. Again, you can check out his campaign in the electoral candidate section. I would highly encourage you to do that. I'll repeat the question just in case you don't remember what it was or didn't hear it. Question 1 is, how should you handle toxicity in the Senate?
Personally, I believe that you just cut it out. You create a procedure in which you create a procedure of similar to the vote of no confidence procedure for Supreme Chancellor and Vice Chancellor, with a process, basically an impeachment process for those individuals who fail to show their maturity and fail to have the responsibility to perform the job that they've been given by participating in the Senate. If you can't not be toxic and not be if you can't not be respectful to your other members that are in the Senate, then we have no purpose for you in the Senate, and you need to just be cut out. And we can easily draft up a legislation that has an impeachment process for that procedure.
All right. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if Jal has anything else to add to that, but
all right. Sounds good. Thank you, candidates, both, for your answers. Again, thank you for following the rules and keeping it concise and respectful. I really appreciate it. Makes my job a lot easier. This time we're going to go to Black to start off with a question. And again, you guys can rebuttal points, but I would keep it to a minimum because we're not allowing for responses at this time. This is just purely a question answer directly type thing. So, question 2, this is for Black, and then we'll go to PewDieBlitz. Sorry, force of habit. Question 2 is, what past experiences do you have as a high rank of running a group? Go ahead and answer.
Not going into, I could sit here and list off of the past experiences as a high rank I have in this community. I think almost everybody here knows at this point I was, Grandmaster beside Otterite, sat on the High Council for a while, after I stepped down from my position of Grandmaster, went over to the Sith after I got some of my college stuff figured out, and got Dark High Council there before the game inevitably shut down. I spent some time in a group known as TAR. Some of you guys may know, the Army of the Republic. I achieved battalion commander there, and I led the 500 Legion. If any of you guys are lore junkies, 501st. Aside from that, when I first got into Roblox, I spent time in a lot of military groups. Got various officer ranks in those through just working a long time. And then, taking on, real life responsibilities, as if you want to consider, real life high rank responsibilities. I'm in the Air Force now, and I've been a squadron leader for my different squadrons that I've been in so far. Going through BMT, which is only 2 months across a period of 2 I was nominated to be a leader for my flight and basic military trainings. I took leadership responsibility there, and I was in charge of a flight of 50 individuals and making sure that we as a whole were able to strive and be the best that we could be. Aside from myself, Jao, go ahead, give them your resume.
Well, I don't have a lot of IRL experience except for. I'll let that pass for a moment. I don't have a whole lot of IRL experience except for being.
I don't mean to cut you off, Jal, but the issue I have with you responding to this question is Blitz's vice chancellor isn't here. So, alright, is it all right if he answers, and if Blitz can answer for his vice chancellor, he should? I'm not sure how because we weren't aware that he wasn't going to be here. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to know so everything is fair. Okay, yeah, you can respond as well. Blitz, try to answer for your vice. It's a little bit of a disadvantage, but there's nothing we can do about it. We want to keep it as fair as possible. Again, I apologize for interrupting you. You can go ahead and finish.
It's perfectly fine. I'd rather have that sorted first, anyways. As for real life experience, I don't have a whole lot of that except for being a captain and leader of a couple just little sports teams, including swimming, but not much there. As for the internet, I have a lot of experience, starting with a little game you might know as Gary's Mod. I was very, very passionate about roleplay servers and management teams back then. I worked as a co-owner, a manager, a moderator, and an administrator in about 5 different servers over the course of 3 years. I was also a moderator for a game called Toontown Rewritten prior to that, which is funny little game. And when I got into SWOA, I dedicated all my time to it. And, well, those who know me already know the story. Those who don't, I literally spent pretty much every night, every day working on documents, working on trainings, working on training my Padawans. I chose the worst possible Padawans I could because nobody else would take them on, and what I did is I tried my best to train them up to become masters, and a couple actually did succeed. Past that, I don't have a whole lot of experience, but within this community, it is the best community I've ever been in, the best position, the best roles I've ever been in. It was a pretty big part of my life, growing up, learning and working with and in it and through it. Has been more than a pleasure, and that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you.
All right.
Yo, this guy's making me feel bad, man. Like, you see this shit? Like, damn, Booklight abandoned you guys too. Adderite yesterday was actually like, Booklight's like a fucking deadbeat dad. I'm watching you guys.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I zoned out a little bit. Okay, yeah. So thank you both for your answers. We're gonna mandate that question now. Again, I'll repeat the question to Blitz. The second question is: what past experiences do you have as a high rank or as running a group? Try to answer for your vice chancellor. If you can't, we're not gonna hold that against you, but do your best. Whenever you're ready. Does he know that he's not? Blitz, your mic isn't working, I don't think. Alright, this isn't good. I can't hear him at all.
Yeah,
I can't hear him.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, he's not saying anything.
Blitz, could you leave and rejoin real quick? I think like half of the people can't hear at all. Still can't hear anything.
How about now?
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Can everyone hear him?
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Go ahead, Blitz. Sorry about
All right.
that interruption, guys.
So as many of you probably know, I don't have much experience at all with the past SWO community, as because I wasn't very actively in there. But I do have a lot of experience in many groups and very big groups. I would assume even bigger than these, and I've had a lot of experience managing them as well. So, for example, I've been in the so-called Heroes Online Roblox game community, where it's pretty big of itself. I've been running and managing, building it, and moderating it as well. I'll also keeping the community active by creating my own event server, and keeping the community active with events and other activities to make sure that the community is happy and well. And I've seen that this experience have had a positive effect on this community as well. For example, take this campaign. Our active and supportive community, along with the experience. For example, I have with the management of big communities as the Heroes Online one. We and when I speak I, for example, can assess situations as well, if not better than they can. Speaking of the opposition, we also say that, for example, we have this. If I may show an example here in hashtag politics. Hold on.
I would also ask anyone who's talking in the politics channel, if he's going to post something as evidence, please don't spam it, and so that we actually can see it. Thank you.
As you can see, it says politics are very difficult game, a very difficult game that require difficult decisions at times. In my opinion, Blitz is a very kind-hearted and nice individual, which makes him unfit for the position he seeks. Well, I have to totally disagree with you there. First off, being nice has nothing to do with how I may be performing as a Supreme Chancellor, but it has nothing to do with when it comes to how I will judge certain situations as well. Jal and Leo, you have no proof of that. Being nice doesn't mean I'm not smart. If anything, you're biased of how I can act in general. Still has nothing to do of how I'll handle certain situations if I do get elected. I'll be just and fair, and I wouldn't dream of endorsing corruption or being manipulated in any way just because I'm nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty much it. And I have very big experience, if not bigger experience with it than they do.
But I appreciate the proactiveness in responding to a candidate's claims. However, like I said, try to keep the rebuttals to a minimum, because they technically are not allowed to respond. So I'm gonna leave that there. I think we're gonna have to figure this out, but
no problem.
All right. Should we allow a quick response and then continue with the questions, or should we just continue?
Either way, if we do get to respond, we can. If we don't get to, I don't care either way.
It's just that, I'm not, it's just a little bit hazy.
Yeah,
just give me.
I completely understand. Like, we want to keep the process.
Okay. Black or I think Black would be the more appropriate, since it was his statement. You have 45 seconds to rebuttal it. Let me get a timer out, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this as professional and civil as possible. Let's do this. All right, you are good to go. Your time starts now.
So, being kind and being a nice individual tends to lead to being more forgiving in some of your decisions. It lets you tend to let things slip and slide when you're a kind-hearted individual. I know this because I was that kind-hearted individual. I used to let things slide as an HR. Eventually, I had to learn to grow past that, and with growing past that and learning that there are some times that you have to lay down the law and you have to be that tough individual. It makes it very difficult to be in a position of leadership when you're a very kind-hearted individual.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. All right. We have the response. We have everything. Now we're going to go to the next question. Question 3, which is going to start with Blitz here, since we started with Black on the last one. Question 3 is, how often would you want to schedule official raids between factions? Just to clarify, official raids is between Jedi, Sith, Clone, and Imperial. Bounty Hunters are a separate discussion. Focus more on the main and sub-factions of those. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. Just want to fix my mic. Does everyone hear me properly?
Yep, you're all good.
So, as I said, I had past experience with the Heroes Online community, which is very big. I've created events and such to keep the community active and also get response back. This is what I'm which I'm going to apply if I get elected as well. I will try to keep it weekly, if not as many times as possible, to get as much feedback as possible, to be able to handle and resolve situations as quickly as possible as well. And I've seen also, if I can apply this, that in the past community, that with the testimony of Timmy Tam 1 and Chimcharm, there's been a lack of availability with time zones and such, where, for example, HRs and MRs were mostly in one time zone. I am going to change that if I get elected. I want it to be available to everyone, to be able to give feedback and also be available for everyone and anytime. And we'll try to do that as frequently as possible as well, to get as much feedback as possible as well, and to assess situations much faster and more covering in the whole community.
All right, thank you, PewDiePie. God damn it! All right,
they can call me PewDiePie. It's okay.
All right. I have just received insider information that Jal has 30 seconds to reply to that. I'm gonna time it.
Tell me whenever.
Whenever you start talking, I'll hit the timer. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Blitz, yes, it's the times of the last community were, well, messy. A lot of the people were EST, and then a lot of the lower ones were either Mountain Time or GMT, just flat out. To combat this, which I did speak about in the VC earlier, which you were in, some HRs would stay up, and there would be 2 to 3 trainings a day, which I literally mentioned 20 minutes ago prior to you stating that. But with that being said, I don't know. In the last community, there weren't a whole lot of problems after we implemented the documents for it and actually stuck to them.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move on to Black now, who has to answer question number 3. Sorry, so it's getting a little bit hard to keep track of this. I gotta mark this down. Question 3, again, I'll repeat it for you. It's how often would you want to schedule official raids? Go ahead, answer. Like I said, I don't want to have to keep stressing this, but please try to keep the rebuttals to any statements or claims that might have been made in the past couple weeks to a minimum, or try to avoid them entirely, because this is formatted more as a Q&A session rather than a kind of more politically charged debate. So you can rebuttal it, just try to keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So go ahead. Floor is yours.
Ideally, we looked at trying to do like we did in the past, about twice a week on raids. That's on paper. As anybody who's been in this community for a long time knows, nothing on paper works exactly as it's written down. So what we have to do most of the time is we have to adapt and adjust to what's going on. If we have more activity, we can have more raids. If we have less activity, we cut down on the raids. Ideally, you look at having raid on a Saturday, which is typically a universally free day for most people, and then you have one during the week. And I know in the past we've used having multiple raids at the same time, where we had one raid going on like Hoth and the other one was going on at Kashyyyk. It's the question is kind of, the question's kind of botched in a sense, because while you can plan to have so many raids, you have to adjust to what the actual activity is. And, being this a closed community now and everybody having to have applied, I would hope that we're going to have a lot more activity now than we used to past, which means we'll be able to have 2 to 3 raids a week if we can. But it all depends. It all depends on the activity. It depends on scheduling, availability, which we will come to see with how the game goes, how the time is spent.
All right. Thank you very much. Wow. All I'm hearing is the all-encompassing void. All right. Thank you for that. Very cool. All right. Thank you for your response. Again, I appreciate the respectfulness that you guys are keeping. So we're going to move on to question 4, and we're going to start with Black again. So question 4 is, how would you go about settling a dispute between two factions? Come up with your own example if it would help you. This is in regards more to keep in mind as the highest political power in the game, you would have to try to appease both sides. So keep that in mind when you answer. Floor is yours. Go ahead.
Just off the bat, immediately I think of the disputes we used to have about how Sith would spam Lightning Burst and Jedi would spam, Force Push, or all the spammable moves. And what we did is originally we had the HRs go through, and the HRs had to pay attention to what was going on. We worked this into the battle plans in the Jedi, where we had HRs assigned to every area that we had people dispatched to, and they were keeping an eye on, were people spamming, were people doing moves, and we had the individuals in their factions take care of it in the past. It worked more or less with it worked more or less for the Jedi. The Sith, the HRs who were there and did care, they tried to do it. Not all of the Sith HRs were always there, so they couldn't always make sure that there wasn't spamming of moves. To give a more realistic answer for this game, I feel like one of the big debates will be like who actually has control of a planet, who actually won the raid. And for that, you just pull an example. We would pull, we would pull, different we'd pull different ideals, different sides, different views of what happened during the raid, find out what the final score was, if there's a scoring system like there was in the past, and, use that. Another example I can think of off the top of my head is, the Knights Corps and how we bound both the Jedi and Sith together for raids, since they used to be against each other and they wouldn't even cooperate. Like we couldn't get individuals to even come together on like, oh, we want to do a raid. No, we don't want to do this raid because we don't like that planet. We want to do this raid. Well, we don't want to do this raid because you guys are just going to spam this. And so, being able to take the time to talk with both sides, find out what it is they want, make that middle ground, and bring it to both sides to have it presented. And just having that relentless drive to come up with a solution that individuals need.
All right, much appreciated. Thank you again. Let's go to.
You guys want a commercial break?
Sure. Let's do a commercial break. Brought to you by your sponsor, Cookbook, the greatest cook in all the galaxy.
Okay. Have you ever been tired of not having enough skills for your gunner?
Yes.
Are you tired?
Yes.
Of crying every day since 2017, asking for gunner skills?
Yes.
Well, you're gonna need to cry even more.
Oh my God! No!
Oh God.
God damn it, Book!
Yo, I better have like a Hiroshima bomb in my inventory.
Yeah, we all know Havoc gets the portable nuke. He gets a fat man. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, he just has a nuke lying in his pocket.
I have a Darksaber that has a slash effect of the whole map, and Havoc gets a nuke. I think that'll balance it, I think. What do you think, Havoc?
Yeah.
You guys
must.
All right, back to your regular scheduled programming.
Wait,
Mr. Blitz.
I will repeat. Still going on.
What? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
All right, ready? You guys want to see something cool?
Sure, let's see something cool.
All right, how many people can I go live to?
I think everybody, yeah. You can literally go live to everybody.
Let's go.
Never mind, it has a max amount of viewers.
Yep, it very much has a max.
It's Naruto. I'll describe it to you guys in detail. There's Naruto. Or no, he has the Rinnegan, it looks like, and a katana. He also has a fox hawk.
That's not the stream.
How is that not the stream?
It's the thumbnail of it.
Why am I watching the thumbnail?
Is the stream going? No. Oh god, that's the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wrong stream. Hold on. Stream settings. Done. How do I get off a stream? Stop streaming.
Bruh.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There you go.
Alright, ready?
How does it only have the max amount of viewers?
Because these guys are hovering over his username. That's why.
Alright, one second. I forgot what the key was. What was it?
Oh, loud.
That's not what I want to show you guys. Let's click this. Let's go. Purchase this.
I still want to know where Geonosis is at.
It's gonna come next year.
All right, bet.
You know it's very close to next year, so.
Yep.
It's coming 2021.
Are we looking around? You know, like around March 15th or whatever day it was.
No. It's coming
January 32nd.
All right.
21st to the 30th.
All right, bet.
All right, you guys ready for this? Wait, how many people can watch the stream?
Well, I can't get in, so.
He's in space right now.
Yeah,
he's in
Thank
a
you.
fighter.
Thank you.
Oh god, he's hyper. Ah! Okay. Yep, that was a hyperspace, and he's now shooting.
All right, which planet you guys want me to go to? I'm a Jedi, so I can't really go to that planet.
Mandalore.
Is the debate over?
No, it's not over. Book had to
It's an
show us
advertising
something.
break.
This is a commercial.
Have we even started?
Yeah, we
Yes.
started like a while ago.
Oh look,
Yeah,
just
I know.
put the planet through hyperspace.
Whoever did that, I hate you forever.
He is now on Ilum, I believe.
My
Okay.
little
Expanded
cousin,
mark.
she's been playing that on her phone for the past 3 weeks straight. I don't know how she just discovered this man. This insane person that walks around making like baby noises in Walmarts. Man looks like a 6'8" trucker with a goatee, and he sounds like he's 8.
That's
I
cool.
don't know
though,
what.
but
Yeah, that. Who played that?
He was just spinning his saber around, just in a circle, just casually. Yep, he is in fact a helicopter.
Mad sentence.
Yep, he is in fact.
Havoc, can you say man's not hot for me, please?
Man's not hot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He is now entering some sort of main chamber with a giant beam coming out of the middle of it.
Oh, the Death Star.
Dark High Council.
Who is Sans?
Well, the stream is over now, but it was like I think it was Ilum.
Thank you, Cookbook. Very cool.
It's probably hot.
Continue.
but I'm pretty sure Arcanian is
It's
hot.
not.
Wait, or can we?
Is it Ilum?
Book, are we good?
It's Ilum, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are good.
All right, thank you, Book. That was pretty awesome. Commercial break over. Welcome back to the debates.
Thank you, Kanye. Very cool.
Hosted by GNN, Galaxy News Network.
Okay,
The most
shut up,
trusted. All right, thank you.
go on. All right,
Just trying to meme, but all right, fine. Jesus, we were on question 4, I believe. I might be wrong.
Might be.
You're
I-
on.
we-
You're on question 4, and it's supposed to be.
Yeah, wait, I got a question for both candidates.
All right.
So this is for
Oh my god.
this is for PewDiePie first.
Sure.
Alright, so PewDiePie.
You said you weren't gonna call me PewDiePie, but all right, go.
When you said the N-word on that live stream, was it real?
What?
Oh, all right, no.
What?
Yes, it was. I'm sorry. I said no retard.
All right. I'm just gonna about that. All right.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna benefit? All right, how is both candidates gonna benefit the Jedi Order?
Wait, hold up.
If
Like,
I may
Jedi?
start,
I need to write this
Can I
down. Give me a
start?
sec.
I
Wait,
want to
give me a sec.
start.
Wait, give me a sec. I need to add book question.
All right, PewDiePie. PewDieBlitz. All right, no one
Wait.
call him PewDiePie anymore, right? PewDieBlitz.
Wait, Book, could you repeat the question so I can write it down real quick? Wait, Book, can you repeat the question so I can write it down real quick?
Okay. How are you guys gonna benefit the Jedi Order?
As I stated earlier, time zones were a big factor in this, where a lot of people had the EST time zone, and which made it very unfair for a lot of people. And sorry, my little brother is coming into the room. My apologies. Depending on who you got as a master, the Padawan training was longer or shorter. This is testimony from Chimcharm and Timmy Tam 1 also. Making some wait too long and other unprepared. The Galactic Blitz Senate will make sure that Padawans will be trained and have the same experience as every other Padawan, so they may challenge each other or succeed in trainings with their master on equal grounds. And yeah, that's one thing that we want to change as well. Another thing will be that we want that the ranking systems will be much more smoother for everyone in the Jedi Order, where it won't be too long to wait for a master, or they won't be able to attend trainings on suitable times. And that's what we want to change.
All right.
That was pretty good, but are you going to give us less taxes?
I think we're ignoring the real issue here, which is the droid attack on the world.
Sorry, my bad. My microphone butchered up.
We still need less taxes.
Yeah, less tax.
like where this is going.
I'll be hiring Colton Freedom cost taxes. So yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's actually a tax system game now. You're gonna have to play the Senate to keep running.
All right, perfect. All right, that's what I had to say.
Okay. I don't know if Book wanted to mandate that question to Black also, but you're welcome to answer that as well.
He said it was for both of them.
All right, go ahead.
So, first of all, you can't touch the trainings of the factions because each training system for each faction is individual to the faction. So it's up to them. As for the ranking systems, yes, you could technically touch the rankings, try to change them. That would take, collaboration with Book and Block themselves to get that changed. So long as the Jedi keep up their duties, we can, if the Jedi are keeping up their duties, we can lowering taxes for the Jedi. That would go for other groups as well. It would depend on the performance of the group. Maybe set up a system where the more that a faction is winning raids, and the more that a faction is, winning raids, and the more that a faction is showing activity, we lower taxes on them, and possibly increase the taxes that people are doing as well. Just a thought.
Okay, thank you for that answer. We're gonna move on from the book question to question number 5. What are some ideas that you have for legislation? We're gonna go to Blitz for this one. What are some ideas you have for legislation? Damn it! All right, sorry, that's my ringtone. What are some ideas you have for legislation, and what are some general policies that you'd like to have installed in regards to pretty much any aspect of the game? Go ahead, Blitz, and then we'll go to Black right after. Anyone hear him talking?
No.
He's
Also, I'd like to
muted.
point out.
I cannot hear anything.
He's muted.
Hi, Lord.
Sorry, I have some technical difficulties. If the
That's
question
fine.
could go to the opposition first, that would be highly appreciated.
Sure, yeah. And while you DM me if you can't figure it out, we'll figure we'll work with it.
All
But for now, Black, you answer the question while he fixes that. That's fine.
All right, give me 1 second, quick. So we actually put this in politics the other day, and I'm gonna put it back in politics again real quick. But we have a Google Doc here that has some initial plans for legislation that we already have written out. I can go through all 5 of them that we have, or I can just, highlight 1 or 2, whichever ones you guys want to see. I know the link says you guys should be able to comment. Please, don't throw just random comments out there. I would appreciate it. But so, starting with the first one, finding one thing we want to do is be able to one of the things we want to be able to do is we want to be able to work with the bounty hunters and give them a guys please don't we want to be able to work with the bounty hunters and make a legal systems for bounties, make like a system where people can submit bounties to the Senate, and if they have some sort of valid reasoning to them, which I mean would be very it's not like you have to have a very valid reason to put a bounty on somebody in a Lego game, but if you want to put a bounty on somebody, we can set it up through the Senate and make it to where people will get a bonus for doing the bounty hunters that collect those rewards through that individual. They'll get a bonus from the Senate for completing those bounties. Another system we want to do is create a lot of people didn't get here in time to become force sensitive, so creating a system creating a system that allows people to flow into the force sensitive to be part of the force sensitive community. Clearly we wouldn't want people being high ranks and just leaving their community just to go to being a force sensitive and being low rank.
Hey, Jacob Smith, don't do that again.
We would want to be able to see individuals, be incorporated into the force sensitive community and not be able to just not join it at all. But as we put this in here in the past, we have some plans for legislation already in place, and we have already started drafting some of them, and how they would go into the Constitution. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. Blitz, did you manage to fix your technical difficulty?
Kind of. I hope so.
I can hear you pretty clearly. I'm hoping everyone else can hear you.
I can hear him pretty clearly.
All right.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
So we haven't formed any legislatives as of now, because we see it as we want the people to have the community startup, and therefore we can assess the situation like that and form legislatives that way. But we do think that we will change and best suit the legislative for the need of factions, but we do it just and unbiased in judgment. We're available at all times, and we'll make sure that every corner of the community is kept in check and make sure that as little conflict as possible is present. Though some may argue that, we can make it so no conflict will ever occur, but that's why we'll be there to change it and be able to resolve conflicts as soon as possible with more meetings in the Senate as much as possible weekly, so we can form better and stronger legislatives as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Blitz.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the next question. Again, I'd like to repeat that I am very thankful that you guys are keeping it respectful. Let's continue on to question number 6. Question number 6, and we're going to go to Blitz because Black had the last one. How often will you be...
Ouais. Pris biscuit dans l'active, puis le petit truc dans le frigo, là.
Oh god, the Germans are invading again.
What the fuck did you just say?
Did I just have a stroke, or did he speak another language?
That's the same question. Like, what?
What?
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
Outright.
Oh, I know what he's doing.
I think he was just translating.
Oh. All right. Let's continue.
I'll just disconnect
confused.
them.
Yeah. All right. So, question number 6, and Blitz, you can answer this first, is how often will you be present for us to call a meeting should fighting get out of hand? And that means infighting between Senate factions, anything like that.
As I said before, we'll be available at all times, and we'll call them as much as needed. We'll set a standard to make it to be weekly, probably 2 to 3 times a week. And we'll be available at all times if any problems occur. Personally, that is, we'll be able to be there to assess situations when it's needed at all times and make sure that everyone has it comfortable and that the experience is smooth in factions and interplanetary conflicts as well.
Right. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just also wanted to make it clear, and you're gonna have now, since I'm adding it in later, it's kind of my fault, but this includes any emergency situation at all, not just infighting between anything. Any emergency situation, we never know what could happen. That's what the general premise of it is. So go ahead.
Yeah, of course. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be available at all times. We'll assess situations when it's needed, and we'll be available when it's dire. And we won't be having a cloudy judgment as well. We'll be just and hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties again, but we'll have no cloudy judgment, and we'll be as unbiased as possible, and we'll be available at all times, as I said.
All right, perfect, thank you. And now we're going to go to Black, and again, a reminder, I'm going to read the question out. How often will you be present for us to call a meeting should fighting get out of hand? And this does not just count to be infighting among the Senate or the faction. It's also any emergency situation that requires the attention of the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor. Go ahead.
So, I'm a human, and I like to sleep occasionally, so I won't be available every second of every day, but any time that I'm awake, I have my phone on me. I have Discord on it. Anybody who's worked with me in the past knows I'm literally just a message away. I will always respond within, 20 minutes of getting a message. Ideally, we'd have a weekly meeting either Friday or Saturday, again, on a night or a day that everybody is free. Emergency meetings can be called on a whim. I know Otterite got tired in the past of how many emergency meetings I would call, but some things did need to be handled in the past. Yeah, basically, just anytime I'm awake, I'm free. It's very rare because I'm a... Pardon my language.
Sorry, hold on, let me mute myself.
Pardon my language, I'm a goddamn loner and I don't really have a life. So, yeah, I don't really go out much. When I do, I normally leave somebody in charge for the time that I'm gone. Typically somebody who's responsible and will be able to message me. And even when I'm out enjoying time with, whoever it may be, I typically, still have my phone on me and I'll look at messages, read them, and maybe respond quickly, but I won't spend time on it while I'm busy. But for the most part, I am almost anytime I'm awake, I'm readily available.
All right.
Excuse me, wait, is it allowed to add something?
I think we're going to try to avoid rebuttaling this time around.
Yeah,
although we are going to organize something else. I don't mean to, I know sometimes it's a little bit
okay.
It's a little bit difficult, but we're gonna
yeah.
Anyways, let's continue to the next question, which is going to be for Black first, I think. No, it's Blitz first, right? I think Black just went. Did he?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go Blitz first. Thank you. All right. So, what will you bring to the table that the opposition won't? This is why I was saying don't try not to rebuttal things. This is where you get to rebuttal the different points and discuss the opponent's viewpoint. Try not to slander each other, please. Keep it respectful again.
Yeah.
But you can discuss your opponent's points in this part. So go ahead, like I said, just try to follow the rules.
If I may bring something to the hashtag. Oh. Hold on, difficulties again. My apologies. Hold on.
You better not tell us to Pokemon go to the polls.
Okay, I hope you can see this message in hashtag off topic. So, I just want to say that we will bring the whole community to the Senate. It's not only us. We're not chosen, right? We chose to stand in this elections. All right. Here, Black Lion stated, "I'll leave this conversation on this last note. Blitz chose to run for this position. Jell and I were asked to, right? The fact they only tried to get elected because they were asked to proves that they have had no support from the beginning by the people. HRs isn't that what will only be forming legislative for. It's only mainly the rest of the community and showing that you have no interest in putting on effort for the community in the campaign as well, for example, and that you only run because you were asked to just makes me think that you shouldn't run at all. Sure, you have trust of the HRs and because you had experience in the past community, but not in this one, from what I can tell, because you do not put effort in what you when you supposed to be running for the election. And considering that even, for example, other people that were asked to run, I'm not going to say any names, but I have testimonies. They weren't looking for high candidates along with that. So I just want to say that we'll be going with the people, right? We won't be running for our own ideals only. We'll be running with other people's thoughts in the back of our head as well. And we'll also we'll also lastly say that we'll bring to form this community also based on the new members as well, so they may feel welcomed. We'll make it so the paths in the rankings will be more smoothly, as I also said, for factions, and we'll make sure that in the process of said fact, we'll solve any interfaction, interplanetary, allied in planets, and between factions for smoother cooperation as well in the galaxy by calling the senatorial sessions often to assess situations in the community weekly and as well when it's needed. I also want to address, actually, that's what I want to say for now. So yeah, I'm done.
All right, thank you, Blitz. We're going to go over to Black now. You're free to respond to that. Again, keep it respectful, keep it concise. The floor is yours.
So, you know, what we bring to the floor, the experience in this community first and foremost. We know this community. We know how it's ran, how it's been run, how the moderators and the high ranks plan to run it. We have experience in the community. We have experience with the HRs, and most importantly, we have experience with Book himself. Plenty of time. Funny story about the last time I was in a voice chat with Book for a meeting. He went to go walk his dog and then didn't come back. So that was great. I loved you on that one, Book. That was great. As for, you know, dedication and working towards, you know, working for this, I know there was some of you guys that were in the voice chat earlier that heard Zhao telling his story about, you know, the time he stayed up for he stayed up for 46 days with, you know, roughly 16 hours of sleep in that time period, which honestly should have killed him. He was going insane during that time period. Not good for his health at all. But he literally was killing himself for this game, trying to, you know, be here for the community, be there, and do everything. Our experience with the Knights Core when the game first started dying off, after Linkato left and a lot of other HRs left, back when Liege first left, you know, just a lot of experience we had to go through with that, with creating the Knights Core, finding ways to bring together not just the Jedi but the Sith and the community as a whole, so that way we could keep the game going as well as we could. You know, also, you know, I think something I can say that we bring over our opposition is our maturity. Like, we don't have to take screenshots of statements and go around trying to beg people for testimonies and stuff to prove a point about, you know, anything. Like, we're gonna do what we know how to do. We're gonna do what people know that we know how to do, and we're gonna do our job. We're gonna do our job the best that we can. Zhao, do you have anything you'd like to add? Maybe, you know, elaborate on the story of how much time you put in the game and how you nearly killed yourself over this game.
Maybe just a bit. When it comes to the 46 hours and 16 minutes thing, or sorry, 46 days and 16 hours. What the previous person, some of you might remember him, Chris of Light. I don't think you mentioned him.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Chris tried to do GMT and he tried to do EST. He tried his damn best to set up raids with the Sith, like we were doing, to manage all trainings, to write new docs, to work with the HRs and everything else. And he went into two comas. He went into 2 comas in the hospital and he quit. He could not do this anymore. So when he dropped out, a lot of the activity dropped with him. People weren't getting trained as actively. Initiates were sitting. Padawans were sitting with inactive masters just once again like they were before the Knights Core. So yeah, I stepped up and I stayed up for 46 days and only slept 16 hours. And honestly, that shit was hard, and I would never recommend anybody doing that because you literally get the life sucked out of you. I don't know if you've ever felt emotionless, cold all the time, but that's what it feels like every single day and night that you do that. It's not a friendly thing, but you know what? Honestly, back then it was worth it. The community back then, and I believe it can be the same again. I don't know how this community is because I haven't spent a lot of time with it yet. I'm trying to. I'm in here every day now, ever since I've been asked, ever since I was asked in here, asked to be back. I'm in here pretty much every day. I'm trying to learn the new people. I'm trying to do it again. But I mean, sure, Blitz has more experience with the new community, but if you can only unify the new and you can't even unify the old, then what? I mean, I don't know. Our campaign, it stands for both, whether you see it or not. It really does. And we want to do the best we can for the community, both old and the new. And that is shown through our past work. And there's nothing more to say for that. Thank you.
All right. Thank candidates, or all 3 candidates, for responding to that question. We are in the home stretch. We have one final question from the commission of the most OP people who ever lived. And then we will have some special rounds, 2 special rounds to be specific, if Oddright approves. If not, the debate will end with this question. Last question. This will go to Black, I believe. Here we go. Question 8. If you get elected, what will you focus on primarily in terms of change or improvement?
Primarily focus on for changes and improvement. I mean, primarily the thing that we always focused on in the past was making sure people could just play the game in general. First, like, the first thing that comes first is always real life. Making sure that we have individuals who are willing to look out for us. That way you don't end up with that message saying, hey, I got in trouble with, you know, mom and dad because I didn't do my homework or something like that, so they can't be on. So, you know, creating maybe a system, creating some kind of system or some kind of environment where you have individuals helping each other with assignments, with homework, and stuff that's in real life that allows them to be able to continue to play the game and be part of the community. Aside from that stuff that we focus on in game, change comes as needed. You don't. I've always been an advocate for what isn't broke, don't fix it. So when something breaks and inevitably we need to make a change, we've always come up with a change, typically within the next 8. Yeah.
Okay, much appreciated. Blitz, let me repeat the question for you. If you get elected, what will you focus on primarily in terms of change or improvement?
Repeat the question. I didn't hear that.
Sorry. If you get elected, what will you focus on primarily in terms of change or improvement?
All right. So we also want to speak to the old community. We also want to let them know we can relate to their concerns in the old game. What that implies is that the old people care about the outcome of the game community-wise, how it's run and such. But I feel that the opposition is a bit uninterested sometimes at stating something. No, not the opposition. I mean the people that actually played the older game and had the interest in the old game and countering to the new people. The old people like right now are saying like they are waiting for ranks, so they don't really sweat over it. Courtesy to Tim and Tam and Chim Charm again for this information. Well, there's where we come in, and we'll make sure that every decision made in our Senate will be made to bring out the interest of every member of the community, old as new. Sheep as well will in turn also make sure that every decision made by them will be of the community, will be affecting the community and factions positively, and well, it won't be negatively because we'll be fighting to change the way people see the activeness in the community, and we want to see them engage happily and make sure that they are very active and making the community move forward. So our main target is to make sure that the community is pleased with the activity in the community, and we'll make sure that everyone is active in it and make sure that it's moving forward all the time so people can jump in and be and hang out and get to know old as new. So we want to make sure that everyone is involved in all the activities as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Blitz. Give me 1 second. Nobody leave. The debate isn't over yet officially. I'm going to speak to Autorite to see if he's going to use the last section that and me and a few of the other mods discussed. I will be right back. Give me like 2 seconds.
So, what about the joint attack on the rookies? I feel like this is an issue we've been ignoring for too long.
All right, good news. We are going to have a special session for rebuttals and responses. Basically, what's going to happen is each candidate will have 2 questions for the other candidate. It will go inversely. So Blitz will ask a question to Black. Black will answer. Black will ask a question of Blitz, and it will go on until you've both expended your 2 questions. So we're going to start with Black since we started the first section off with Blitz. Black, go ahead. Any questions that you have for Blitz about his campaign or anything, ask him right now. Again, keep it respectful, keep it appropriate. Go ahead, ask him whatever you want. And Blitz, you are free to respond.
Team
Don't cut him off. Don't cut it off. Don't cut anyone. Kind of hypocritical, but again, I apologize. But no cut. Wait for him to complete the then respond. That's it. Just the same format, except the candidates are asking the questions to each other. Everyone's got it, right?
Yeah, I understand the rules.
Right.
Perfect. All right, sounds good. Go ahead, Black. Ask a question to Blitz, and we'll see how it goes from there.
So, for someone who says we focus on the negative, and your campaign will only be positive, you sure have seemed to be pretty negative and trying to beat us down during this entire debate. Why is that?
I'm not really trying to beat you down, but I'm trying to put the things that you stand for in the limelight, right? I want to make sure that the people vote for someone or some people that actually represent how the community also sees things, right? And in my eyes and my mind and my heart, I see that you don't actually do that. So I want. Hold on, guys. I have something to attend to. Give me.
Sure. All right. Gonna take a quick break.
Team Slayer.
So just as a message to everyone, I would like to remind everyone that this debate, this whole campaign, everything within the realm of speaking about this, keep it in the politics chat and keep it respectful. The mods, myself, Autorite, Havoc, Green, all the mods under us, we are 100% okay with striking you if you cross the line. We're cracking down on this. We mentioned it last week, but I want to remind you, since everyone is in the chat, please keep it respectful, keep it mature. Keep in mind, it's Roblox politics. We don't want to give out strikes. We want this to be a fun environment for everyone. We want everyone be able to interact with us, to be able to interact with the community around them. Just try to keep it at a level where, yes, you can debate each other, but keep it respectful. It's not hard to keep it respectful. So we're just gonna wait for we're just gonna wait for
Hi, Lord. I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Yeah.
In this debate, what is the lines of respect? Like, what is respectful and what is disrespectful compared to the actions that we've already put forward, both campaigns?
I mean, you can call out someone's beliefs, like say, "Hey, I objectively don't agree with this. I think this is wrong. I think you're misleading people." But I would say the line is crossed at strawmanning, slandering. Like just overtly disrespecting the person, like, "Hey, your hair's disgusting," or something that has nothing to do with the policy. You can say, like, I wouldn't say the line is crossed at, "Hey, that policy is dumb and I disagree with it," right? That's not very disrespectful. It's just maybe the wording is a little bit harsh, right?
No, I understand completely.
I would say keep personal attacks out of it.
Right, because that's
issues can be criticized. Don't criticize the candidate.
Exactly.
That's what I would say. So yeah, you can discuss the issues that you believe are wrong, and I have no problem with that as long as you keep it respectful. Yeah.
So wait, I have a question for PewDieBlitz. PewDieBlitz. Wait, who's battling again? PewDieBlitz and Black Leo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So PewDieBlitz, how would you, as a person, have control to make anything like commands of the Jedi Order? Because the Jedi Order doesn't follow the Senate's rules, and when we wanted to see what you would say about the Jedi Order. Like, we don't need any training help from a senator, and that was like pretty disrespectful. So I want to know, like, how are you going to influence the Jedi Order?
He's AFK right now.
Yeah, he's doing something.
Damn, dude, I made that entire speech for nothing.
Bruh.
I respected it. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, shut up! I don't need you.
Well, let me quickly, before he gets to respond to what something someone. So I didn't say you can't. I meant criticizing character. Like, you can if somebody has a shady past. Again, this is Roblox politics. If you take 100 Robux to change a building in a play, like, it's not really. We need to understand that overt personal attacks are uncalled for. Calling someone's past out is not a personal attack. I wouldn't call it that. Because if it's relevant to the conversation, I'm fine with it. As long as it's not overtly disrespectful. Like if you say, "Hey, you had some shady dealings with X, Y, and Z. You must be pretty retarded." Like I wouldn't say that, right? Because that's you're bringing up the issue, right? That's perfectly fine. But then you're insulting the candidate, which, if anything, it's kind of misleading because you're using the standing point of he did something wrong in the past, therefore he cannot change. Criticizing the past is fine, but I wouldn't use it as a point to criticize what they are now, especially if they can rebuttal. That was 6 years ago. I don't know, something like that. Maybe it wasn't a good example, but I think everyone understands the general point I'm trying to go for. So, and I mean, it's been pretty respectful so far. Has been some call-outs, but I feel like they've been pretty tame. Nothing like nobody's insulted anyone. Nobody's only policy has been called into question. So I mean, I'm saying that, yeah, I think everything's going well. Yeah, so we're good, honestly, in terms of just waiting for Blitz to get back.
So, Books, since we're waiting for him to get back, did you have a secondary question for me that you wanted to ask, or were you going to ask me the same thing?
So, why do you call me out with the going to walk my dog and never coming back?
I've always seen it as kind of a little. It was a different time. You were a different dev back then, honestly. We used to spam Twitter to try and get your attention.
Yeah, I know. I saw your tweets. I went through every single one.
Yeah. It's just fun. I find it good to look at the past, because without looking at the past, we don't strive to get better.
That's true. So previously you were going to be the Grandmaster, right?
Yeah, I was Grandmaster beside Otterite for a time.
And you were also trying to become Emperor, right?
Yeah, when Demery was either kicked or left the community, I don't remember, one or the other. I was petitioning to try and become the Emperor because I had worked with Otterite in the past, had worked with the community, loved this community, so wanted to make sure that there was somebody there, whether it was me or not, somebody there who was going to make sure the community was taken care of and help.
Yeah. So with the Sith, how would you compare the Sith and the Jedi, like from the communities?
From the communities?
Yeah, like
you saw or from the past?
No, from the past. Like, how would you compare the past Jedi versus Sith? Which one was managed a lot better in your opinion?
The Jedi by far was managed so much better. Demery was not. Demery was a hand puppet. I'll put it that way.
Can I add one thing though? The Sith had really, really, really good documenting teams. Like, I forget all the people. Kovashir was one of them. They had like 2 to 3 people working on documents in that team, and they worked so well. Like, they knew how to set up raids. They knew how to, I think I agree the Jedi were better managed, but the Sith were not that far behind. They just needed some work.
I'm getting to my next question. Do you think the Sith is better managed now?
I mean, it's hard to tell how well they're managed right now because
Green's not in the chat, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, I'm not I've got no disrespect for Green. Like, I've had conversations with him. I've talked with him. I've got no disrespect for him. It's hard to say because with the game not being not knowing many of the policies and him. I've been trying to ask him stuff like, how are we going to run stuff? What's some of the systems that are going to be in place? And he's been tight-lipped, which has been.
The reason Green is tight-lipped is because we're all the high ranks. Just me, Blockoff, Adderite, and Green. We're all shots. We're not micromanaging. We're macro-managing every detail, and then we're gonna micromanage from the High Council. So we actually, I like what they did when they split up some of the high rank that was in Jedis, and they put them in the Sith. Like Riser, for example, that Riser just being in the Sith is going to improve the Sith so much more. So the Sith right now, they're looking really good. Like, I'm looking through all the Sith high ranks, and everyone looks and fits like a good description to get the Sith in order.
Yeah, and I know like I know in the past the Sith we used a sphere of influence system where kind of similar to how we split up the responsibilities in the Jedi with the different councils, the Council of First Knowledge, Reconciliation, and Rehabilitation, where we split up the responsibilities among those councils. We also they had another system in the Sith that was the sphere of influence system, and they were trying to split up the responsibilities that way. The community in the game really died out before we really ever got it up and off the ground by the time I got there. But
no, it was still alive when you guys were doing it. It was like at least 100 people, which was still good.
Yeah. I know Green's told me that like there's he thinks that like there's going to be a system somewhat like that. So I mean, I think like that sphere of influence system, if it's used or if it's modified, it's a really lore friendly system, and on top of that, it makes it it divvies up the responsibilities so you don't have like one HR who's trying to they're trying to host meetings, host trainings, host raids. They're trying to do everything. They're trying to do. You have different people that have those different responsibilities, and it makes it easier to manage.
Also, Black. Yeah, you're currently a Sith, right?
Yeah.
What rank are you in Sith?
Currently I'm just pending. I was told that I talked with Green. I was like, I asked about because I was honestly taken aback, and I got a couple of messages from people asking me like how did you not get a high rank, and I was like well, I mean, mostly because I was at from February to April I was in BMT, so I didn't have any access to like phone, internet, or anything. I wasn't able to be in the chat or anything. I was always kind of here, and then even when I got out of BMT, I kind of wasn't in this chat too much because I was hanging out more around the I was hanging out more around the Naruto community, playing Shinobi Origin.
Oh no. I'm gonna be real. I didn't like the Shinobi Origin community. I was gone while my brother was making the YouTubers Kages, and when I came back, I was like, "Yo, this is the worst." No, remember, I was gone while you made them. Like,
where is
official made them. So the reason that the YouTubers got Kages is because it was for the game promotion, but that was the worst idea that we had, because when they promoted the game, people expected the game to be one way, and it wasn't going to be that way.
Hey, to the mods, do you guys think we should hold off on this Q&A part, because I don't know what's going on with Blitz. Yeah, because he's been gone for a while and he's not really responding to me.
Let's go to Underrated Quarter and vote.
Yeah, okay. So, a little bit of a wait time. We're gonna be right back.
But yeah, I know. Book. So I know I talked with Green, and he said the big reason that I wasn't in HR for anything was because I wasn't around at first. And I mean that makes perfect sense. If I'm not around, there ain't no reason that they're gonna think that I'm gonna be active, which makes sense.
No, that's 100% true. And what the mods are doing right now, discussing like with both candidates, like they're discussing like if the Senate is actually like if it's actually gonna be a good thing in the game, because what the Senate is for is just to organize raids and wars, and they're like debating if there should even be a Senate, because the Jedis and Sith can do that, but then Drowning is questioning Adrite's capabilities to actually show up to the raid.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, no, but Adrite likes the new combats. Like Adrite's seen the entire game already. The previous there was like barely any combat with the previous system, so this system is gonna be it's like completely different. So I think you'll be I think you guys will be a lot more attracted just to fighting each other than to like just slicing and then backing away, because it requires like thinking like for each form as well.
Just like Q.
Guys, I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
So
I'm gonna go say hi, Lord.
My bad.
Welcome back, Blitz.
Thank you. My bad for my absence. There was some difficulties.
And Book just popped out, so I don't know what kind of question he asked for you, but the mods are not
It's
here
about
right
yeah, something about like how I've been pushing you down in this this election and this debate and going at it aggressively. I think you see it, but
the question that he had asked was, how are you going to influence the Jedi training system, because the Jedi training system isn't supposed to be touched by the Senate. The Senate has no say in that. So he was asking how you were going to be able to.
The question, I don't think, you said something about how I've pushed you down during this debate.
Yeah, and you had already responded to that.
I wasn't done.
Yeah, Book asked your question while you were gone, and he'll probably be back with it if he's still.
Perfect. I'll continue my question.
Huh. Yo, low key, bacon sunflower seeds are a gift from God. Yo, if anybody, you ever had like meat with bacon salt on it? Oh, bacon salt, man, bacon salt.
To reiterate for you, Blitz, currently the mods are questioning if it's even a good idea to have the Senate.
So, yeah, that's what they're doing right now, or at least that's what Book told us they were doing.
Would be quite a shame, though.
Oh my fucking god.
I guess it got moved out, huh?
Omengta, if you aren't vaccinated, banned from our life. Beautiful. Stop reading my messages in VC. Ha! Gay. Darth vaccination.
Is he still in here?
Is Vax in here? Yeah, Vax is here. Yeah, there he is. There's Vax.
There's Vax. You gotta get to work. Some of these kids are slack.
Vax fixing to kill us all. Oh boy. iCup.
Finally.
What are we getting
Why are
back?
they still in there?
All right, guys. Thank you for waiting. Just a little bit of discussion. We will keep you guys informed at the end, but let's get through this part first. I believe Blitz was answering a question. Black, if you still have the question, would you like to repeat it so that he can answer it again?
Yeah, sure, I can repeat it. For someone who says we focus on the negative and your campaign will be positive, why is it that you've been trying to beat us down during this entire debate with, screenshots, evidence, etc.?
Well, to answer your question, I just wanted to bring your statements and actions so far in this community into the limelight, right? With, for example, your activity in this community so far. I'm not only speaking on behalf of the new community. As you've seen, I've had testimonies of old and high-ranking community members of my proof as well, showing that I actually take my time and actually caring about this community and forwarding my ideals and such. So you boast about your accomplishments in the past communities, creating documents, and then being members, you being members of the High Council, Sure, that's fantastic. But
Wait, pause. Wait, pause for a second. All right, PewDieBlitz, can you, before you question his loyalty to the community, can you, as a sane person?
I'm not questioning his loyalty to
No. But you kind of did. You try to bring him down a little bit. So for a sane person, imagine sticking to a dying game for 4 years and still playing it. Like, just imagine that, right? And not abandoning it because of what the point of the game, like the point of the community, like what we wanted to build, and sticking to that same single point and going 4 years because that one idea is what made the entire community. Can you do that for 4 years? Like, not a lot of people. You can't. No. But you don't even answer the question. Can you, like, think about it? Can you actually do that and stick to one thing and not abandon it? It's hard for people, even me. Like, I can't even stick to one game. When I see something that influences me, I want to go and make that. So, but the thing with this community is that they stuck to that one idea that the Jedi Order started with the roleplay community, and from that start, it really built, like, everyone contributed and built onto that start point. So it wasn't just like one person starting it; it was a community of people that got an idea, and you can't bring him down for his loyalty to the community, because even if he was asked to run, you can't. I don't want you to bring that in, because I know Black Leo and Jal, they constantly spammed the Twitter for years. They kept it up from 2017 all the way to 2018, just to have one single update, literally a grenade in the game. Are you able to do that? Like, not a lot of people can do that.
If I may speak, for once, for example, I'm in the Heroes Online community, a very big group, as I'm sure you know.
Straight up,
and I've been in that community.
Heroes Online. Don't talk about Heroes Online. I hate. Never mind. Just don't bring that up.
Right. Okay. So, I say that they boast a lot, because I've seen that most of their arguments are about experience, right? Let me put this in a new light. You boast about your accomplishment in the past communities, creating documents, and you being members of the High Council. Sure, that's fantastic, but it's no use if it's really wasn't effective, right? Let me just bring up a picture here in the hashtag politics.
Book, I'm gonna ask you straightforward. Can I go after this?
Yes. Well, you might want to hear what we have to say after. It's pretty insignificant. We have some updates.
Sure. Yeah.
It'll take about 5 seconds, but you know.
So, here they say in this post that free ranking was present in the past community, right? And well, I say that your accomplishments really didn't mean something bigger than we have to offer, considering the issue with, for example, free ranking that you yourself know happened. Now, saying that the failure of such ranking systems were not their fault, or not having a part in the fault of it, is wrong. By that, I mean that you've created documents, you have ranked supposed to hold up those laws and terms, but you failed to do so, right? Are you saying that you want to run this Senate and also do the same thing here? I would be not speaking for myself if I said nobody wants someone that has made such large mistakes before, letting them run around creating disorder in the community. Now, a question for you. Are you saying that people want someone in the position of a Supreme Chancellor or Vice Chancellor that has made such mistakes before? Don't you think people in this current community will have doubts about that? What will you do to fix your past mistakes? That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well, first off, if you would read that, you'd actually see that we weren't the group leaders. You could gather that very easily. And if you look back at our past ranks, we were never the group leaders. And if you look at our campaign, we were never the group leaders. And if you look through that paragraph right there, it literally states that the group leaders themselves, when they saw free ranking, that was their responsibility. The Sith group leader, the Jedi group leader, the TFO, and the Rebels, that was their responsibility. Not ours, the document creators, but in fact the people within the rank. But they did enact that, and I did state that and imply that, and even reference that within that paragraph, which you failed to mention once again. As for, let's see here, what else did you say? Us boasting? We're not boasting. We are telling you about our experience, which you can continuously. You say you have proof, correct, Amundo? You have witnesses. Witnesses can say anything. Now, Chim was a high rank at the very end of the game after we left. Let's see here. You also have Tim. Tim, I don't even remember if he got to high rank. I really don't. But you know, I can't disprove and I can't prove their words without proof, just like you can't prove their words without proof, right? But as you heard Book, we literally, Jared and I, Leo and I, spent 4 years in this community, in this game, proving ourselves to them that we were loyal, that we were willing to put literally our lives on the line to help them with homework, to help them in the game and ranking, to help the group leaders do what they need to do. And again, with that free ranking thing you went on about, that was not our responsibility.
Yeah.
That was the responsibility of the group leaders, and they handled it when it was in the light.
Yeah, I'll speak a little bit more on the free ranking and the issue with that, because you know the issue with the free ranking never really resulted from the HRs. Free ranking resulted from resulted mainly from the actions of. Now there was some free ranking that occurred with HRs, and it was not something that we're proud of, and not something we want to see happen again. We learned from that experience, we've adjusted from that experience, and we've evolved past that. The reason behind the MR, free ranking is people literally trying to rush their trainings. They take a knight takes on a Padawan, and they try to train them in 2 days, and then say, hey, this guy's ready for the Padawan. And we started putting systems in to try and prevent that from happening. And Otterite will tell you about this. We made systems where we put time limits and time constraints on how long you had to be in. But we started seeing member count falls because there was people saying it takes too long to get ranks. So you have to be able to find that balance between where people were spending time to earn a rank and where people are staying intrigued enough in the game, and they're not just playing the game, and they're not just stuck at a rank. And then finding that other balance of, hey, we have to find people who are eventually going to be able to come up and be HRs who aren't just in it for the rank.
And do you know how we balance that? Roleplay. And that transferred into the new community fully. Just like Book mentioned, it's something we worked on as a community, not just us, but as a community, we enforced that. That was the balance. That was our effectiveness. That is pretty much, I don't want to say the entire point of the last community, but that was a strong suit of it. And to say we were ineffective, Book literally just said that he read through each one of our tweets that we tweeted out for a full year, just trying to get a single grenade in their game. Granted, whether it was done or not, we had no power over that either, but at least he read it. That alone is a win. A small one, but a win. And effectiveness, the game was fully dead. And I mean no offense to this Book or Block, but when you two left the game from the Naruto game, there was nothing. Otterite was the only HR, and when we made the Knight's Core, we literally resurrected the game from barely anybody. Barely anybody. No HRs active except for one Jedi. And we got that done. We talked to the HRs in Sith who were active at that time in either Naruto or barely coming on the game. And we set up raids and all that. That was effective. It kept the game alive for what? 2-3 more years? That's more than most Roblox games can even say. That's more than most people can even say. That is effective. That is not ineffective. That's all I got to say. If you have any more, Leo.
I got nothing else.
Oh, actually, one more thing. How we will learn from the experience. Leo already talked on this a little bit, but we learned through time. We have learned from our mistakes. How we move forward with our new knowledge. Look at the legislation. You say we've done nothing for the new community. Your campaign is not willing to sit down and write a legislation or any sort of contribution. You're waiting for the community to literally tell you ideals, and that's it. We've written a legislation which can be put in place for whichever campaign wins this. If ours does, we can put that in place, and we can ask the community what they want, what they think of our legislation. And if you win, you don't have a legislation to even question about. Ours, you can consider, the community can consider, because that's implemented ideas which we sat down for a while, a couple hours, and wrote. We took time out of our day already in the new community to sit down and make an effort. That's what we've done so far with our very limited time, my very limited time. But you know what? We did something, which you still failed to mention when you spoke. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Right, may I respond to that? So you talk about dedication and loyalty, right? Who says I don't have that, right? I have been in a community far bigger than this one, together with the old one and this one. I've been up for so long, as you as well, creating laws for like events and, well, other things in the community that we've recently
wait, pause.
And
wait, pause for a second. I'm gonna tell you. All right, this game was made in 2015, right? 2015 Roblox wasn't as popular, and so okay, if you want to consider this game being, because this game was on front page for like a whole month, and front page was only 2,000 players. So if you want to compare, then you can't really compare. You can't compare with
for a year.
All right, listen. You can't. Okay, listen. You can't compare the Roblox platform from 2015 to 2019.
Is it the second time?
All right, no. I'm just saying, like, you can't compare like how big a game is, or how big a community is. Doesn't matter how big a game or community is. It's that I don't know how that's even a point. Yo, PewDieBlitz, you gotta rethink, man. You gotta think hard. Yeah, we're like, we want you to prove to us that you're gonna be good, man. Like, you can't rethink, like, you can't think like that. Like, a bigger community or a game is. Yeah, you can't think like that.
It's only a point, right? I'm not gonna base everything I say on that, right? I've shown a lot of dedication already to this community, setting up the campaign and everything. Sure, I support you, the opposition, on what they've done so far, and forming legislatives and such. But I'm waiting. Our ideals are basically to form the Senate with the help of the community, right? And we don't want to form legislatives yet. We have ideas, we have targets that what we want to focus on, as we said earlier, to make, for example, the community more active. We have ideas on that as well. We just don't want to publish it just yet, because we think it's not ready for it to be released yet, because we want to refine it and make it better, the best it can be, right? Okay. So to say that you like boast about your activity and contribution to the community, yeah, sure, I respect that, I really do, but doesn't mean I don't.
Okay, thank you to both candidates. This debate has been going on for about 2.5 hours, so we're going to end it there. We do have some very important news. Me and a couple of my colleagues have convened and decided that the Senate is completely pointless at this point. We're not removing it. However, if you are able to prove that the Senate serves its purpose and is able to function completely normally and completely efficiently, we will not remove it. You have 1 term to prove yourselves, whoever gets elected. If it is removed, you will be reinstated to your previous ranks. Good luck. Do good. You're on probation from now on. That's the end of the debate, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming out. And just so you guys know, I said I wasn't voting, but I am now voting. Cookbook for a chancellor.
Yeah, apparently he was a part of
Dude, your master can't be chancellor.
Yeah, Cookbook is now chancellor, everyone.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nope.
Apparently he's a part of the debate.
Yep. All right.
Again, the reason is because you guys. No, I was just like You can't let stuff slide like this. What PewDieBlitz said is really inaccurate.
Hey.
And you can't, I can't be Chancellor Grandmaster.
No, I know. I was just joking, man.
Grandmaster. Okay, I'm gonna delete this VC so everyone gets disconnected.
Wait, before I wait, just before again, I'd like to thank everyone for being respectful, asking good, mentioning points that you. I wasn't joking about the probation period, by the way. I know I said a couple things, but that is actually true. You guys will need to prove yourselves when you get elected, and your ranks will be reinstated if we decide it is not efficient enough to sustain itself. However, I appreciate the respectfulness. I appreciate the points you brought up. It's definitely a thinking point for everyone that was listening. You might have changed some minds. You might not have. Who knows? Good luck to you on the rest of your campaign, both of you, and may the best man win. That's it. Everybody have a great...
Mods moderator VC, thank you very much. I am about to nuke this VC. Everyone get prepared.
Black.
Because of your stance on where am I? Oh, what's up? Did you move the wrong person in here or what? Oh, what's up? What's up, Colton? Hashtag cancel Colton. That's all I gotta say. Hashtag cancel Colton, and that's all I gotta say. Colton.
Hello? That was crazy. Very crazy.
Yeah, that was very crazy.
Very crazy. Oh well, thank you for tuning in for Star Life News. Catch you next time, gamers. All right. How do I end the recording? You guys know. Alright,
how do I end the recording? What are you using?
I'm using OB. Oh, I see. Hold.